All right. Good morning. Good morning. And Monday morning quarterback is here. Before we start, I want to thank my usual co-hosts and Mike from Mic'd Up Sports. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. Trying something different. I have it playing live in the background. I just started hearing my own voice. So Mike from Mic'd Up Sports, thank you for joining, and of course Juwaan over at Geek Vibe Nation. Thank you both for joining. As I said, as usual, per week. So let's get into it. It was an eventful day of football, huh? And we got a big game coming up tonight, which we'll talk about in a minute. But as always, we start out with our giant takeaways. I think we should change this segment to giant giveaways because that's what they seem to like to do. Obviously without Daniel Jones, so I didn't expect a win. I'll be honest. I don't even think we would have won if we had Daniel Jones. I think at this point, Mike, as a Giant fan, do you concede? Do you say, you know what? Let's just rebuild. Let's just do what we need to do on the offseason.
I concede. Yeah. Daniel Jones took his last snap as a Giants quarterback last week against the Eagles.
What are you talking about?
This guy's too injury prone. All 3 years now that he's been a starter, 2 leg injuries and now a neck. I'm concerned, and don't get me wrong, I'm concerned about the neck because he said he was fine, and now they're saying he's out for the year.
Wait, they said he's out for the year?
I heard he's out for the year.
What?
That's what I heard. I heard he might be out for the year because nobody knows how bad this neck injury really is.
I still don't think he's taking his last snap, but I did not know it was that serious of an injury.
That's what I heard. But I'm hearing it from Evan and Craig, and Craig is the most obnoxious motherfucker on the radio. But what do I know?
All right. Daniel Jones' neck injury creates gray area for rest of season. Well, what are they going to do? Because Glennon, I mean, I'm not saying he can't be ready for Sunday or whenever they play, but he left.
But Glennon had a concussion.
He had a concussion yesterday.
And he was a little hobbled too. They said Carl Banks noticed and that he was a little with the way he was walking, like he had some type of problem with his leg. I mean, now that leaves foam. But no, honestly, I think, and you know what? I defended Joe Judge 9,000 times this year.
Yeah.
I think it's time for Joe Judge to go too.
Hold on, we got Packers going to go 14-3 and win that Super Bowl. Then win Super Bowl. They have an easy schedule coming up. I got to look at their schedule, but Packers are one of the favorites, and I know Juwaan likes that.
I like it too because I'm the one that picked the Packers.
I know. Well, didn't you both pick Packers?
Yeah. I think Juwaan went with Packers Chargers. I went with Packers Chiefs.
I went with Bills Bucks. Starting to regret that one. But yeah, dude, all I'm seeing is Giants will not place Daniel Jones on injured reserve. I don't know, but it looks like they are also very questionable how long this is going to last.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I heard, that it might be a shot where this might be just sit them out. And like I said, this is the neck. This is a major problem too, because how bad is it? Nobody's seeing how bad this really is.
Well, I mean, Peyton's proved that he can come back from a neck injury.
True, but
he's also not Peyton Manning.
Let's be real. Peyton is Peyton. Eli is Eli. Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I don't know. But
honestly, though, I really think it's time that the Giants part ways with him.
They could next year. You're talking about Russell Wilson, right?
Joe Judge made some really stupid decisions yesterday.
How about that timeout with seconds to go in the first quarter, or right? I think it was the first quarter, right? Yeah. The play clock. Half, right? Either way, the play clock was a millisecond before it would have expired before the game clock. The 24-second, whatever it is, the 40-second clock. So if time would have ran out in the first quarter before the play clock would have.
And here's the thing: Carl Banks brought that up too yesterday. 5-yard penalty wouldn't put him on the 9-yard line. where the fuck are you going?
No, but it doesn't matter.
Where the fuck will you go? Oh, you're going to go from the 14 to the 9, so you call a timeout?
It wouldn't have been.
Going to make a major difference?
It wouldn't have been a delay game, though.
He doesn't know clock management. He doesn't know how to control this team.
Because I was looking at the clock, and I was saying to myself, because I was looking at both of them because they were ticking both this, side by side. I was like, oh, all right, the game clock, the first quarter is going to end before the play clock is over. So I guess they're just going to go into the second quarter. And then he calls the timeout. I'm like, what the fuck did he just waste the time? I mean,
it totally made no sense. And like I said, you're going from a 2nd and 20. What was it? 2nd and 22, 2nd and 23. You're going to go from that to a 2nd and 20. 2nd and 27 on the 9 instead of the 14.
I don't know. I have no idea. But oddly enough, they're not eliminated from the playoffs yet. Obviously, because this
how are they not? Still, that's the whole thing.
You want to hear something sick? Want to hear something crazy? Because I'm looking at the expanded playoffs now. I have it up on the screen. The only team that is eliminated from playoff contention as of now are the Texans. The Detroit Lions at 1-10-1 are still in playoff contention. Mm-hmm. That's because, well, not only because of the 17th game, but because of how clustered all of them are, especially the AFC. The AFC is as clustered as you can get. 2 games literally separate people in the hunt from people in the division lead. That's how tight the AFC is. So everybody on the AFC divisional lead has 4 losses, and everybody in the wild card, with the exception of the Bills, because they played 1 less game than everybody, has 5 losses, and then everybody pretty much in the hunt has got 6 losses. So it's insane.
I mean,
it really is.
Another thing with yesterday's game too, it really bothered me was, why the hell every fucking play Saquon ran, he was running with the blockers being Hernandez and Soda.
Who did you want blocking?
Run the other way and see if the other guys could block a little bit better.
I mean, he had, what do you have, 55? Yeah, I mean, that's what he seems to, isn't that, I think that's
and he gave the 24. Saquon Barkley gives you 1 good running game, and that's it.
Yeah, he got the 23-yard run, which was like, all right, here we go. Maybe he's going to start thinking, and then he finished with 55. And Booker had 36 in almost half the attempts with the 17-yard run. So these guys get these runs, but look, I mean, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You can't fault Saquon. You can't fault this team just played collectively horribly yesterday.
Except for the defense. The defense tried their best, for God's sake.
They did in the beginning of the game, and then by the end it wasn't, whatever. And then Evan Ingram, I got to say, he's been turning things around. He's been so far 4 or 5 targets, right? You got four receptions and 5 targets, and he seems to not only be holding on to the ball, but he made a really good catch in yesterday's game too, as well.
Yeah, and they were all 30 longs. And that was a good thing. It was like,
Robert, we've been saying this week to week. I mean, we've been saying this actually since last year. The offensive line is horrible, and it shows because what was it, 7 sacks? How many sacks? No, I'm sorry. I was looking at a completely different game. Only 3 sacks, but I know he was hurried because every time I was watching the game, it looked like almost every snap, Glennon had to get the ball off because the pocket was collapsing. So I think that also might be, and we were saying this too, Mike. There's 2 things. 2 things are going to be hard so far this year, right? And I think for the last couple of years, to be honest with you, it's hard to evaluate Daniel Jones. I know you want to throw him under the bus, but it's really hard to evaluate.
I think one of the bus already. He just needs to.
But
he just needs to go the fuck away. That's what.
But it's hard to do, Mike. It's hard to evaluate a quarterback when you have such a horrible protection. And the same thing goes for Saquon Barkley. Because look, if you turned around and you started Devontae Booker every day over Barkley, right? And I'm not saying Devontae Booker hasn't been giving you some good runs, but he's not exploding through any holes either. So is it Barkley or is it the offensive line? Is it Daniel Jones? Because Glennon couldn't do anything either, and we weren't expecting that anyway from Glennon.
We were expecting Glennon to do. I mean, but Daniel Jones is supposed to be. Oh, he's the same guy that was under Eli, and he was taught by the same guy that Eli had, and he has the same style as Eli. And no, this guy is one. to compare him to Eli, one, Eli was tough.
Eli was tough, yeah, but Eli
this
also
guy-
had very
this guy
bad seasons.
but this guy gets a little bit of a fucking cramp in his leg, and he wants to sit out for 2 weeks.
Mike, you and I both know that if we weren't Giant fans, right? I know he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. I love Eli Manning, one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. One of, not my favorite. You know damn well both of you and I would say that not only is he overrated, but he sucked. Eli Manning had very bad seasons as well. He had good moments. Super Bowl being one of them.
Don't get me wrong. He has some bad seasons, but that's because you had fucking Jerry Reese drafting fucking people that didn't protect him. Then you had Gettleman for one season. It didn't protect him either.
But this is the same thing Daniel Jones is going through. It's literally the same thing.
Telling you?
That is the offensive line. You're answering your own question in your comments.
No, but even with protection, Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback.
First of all, he's more mobile than Eli. He can actually run.
Who are you basing that off of?
Look, like Robert says, first of all,
let's see how many games he played. Count the touchdowns, interceptions.
When he had,
Bro,
do the same thing for Eli.
Eli led the league in interceptions for like 3 seasons.
Eli Manning won 2 fucking Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
With and I'm
Eli
a Giants
Manning
fan.
is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Mike, I'm a Giants fan.
I hate to say it. You can laugh all you fucking want because Lamar ain't going to be there with 2 Super Bowl victories, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But
there's no reason to get over. First of all, there's no reason to compare Lamar Jackson and Eli Manning. That's number one. And number two, Eli Manning also played on a team that had one of the best defenses in the league.
Well, no, let's just also be realistic. We're talking about Eli in year 6 or 7, and we're talking about Daniel Jones in year 3 or 4. And let's also not forget, Eli had very passable seasons the 2 years he won the fucking Super Bowl. He had one of the most historic runs twice. No one's done that. It was unheard of.
Right.
So let's not act
Eli
like
Manning has a better playoff percentage than even Tom Brady.
Eli, what?
Wait, what?
What?
Hold on. How long did it take?
A better playoff.
How long did it take for Eli? I believe if you don't count
things that nobody could. Look,
if you count full seasons,
his first Super Bowl. Not one of those games were played at home in Giant Stadium.
Right, they were
all
road.
Those games were played on the road, and they were the visiting team in the Super Bowl that first time up against Brady. Nobody thought he could beat Brady.
Everybody's a visiting team in the Super Bowl.
Again, yes, true, but you're talking yourself in and out of your own arguments because you're stating Eli didn't have a line, so let's blame the GM.
No, at the end. I didn't say I didn't no. You're not listening. Okay. What I said was at the end of his career, Eli had no security. Those those two Super Bowls where he beat New England, he had a line. He had a defense, he had a good run game, and he had good fucking targets too.
Bro,
who does this guy have?
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
You were forgetting the Giants went 8-8 and made a run. In
9-7.
The Super Bowl,
9-7.
9-7. In the Super Bowl, he only scored, 17 points, 16 points? New England was
17.
getting all over him. The only reason the Giants won that Super Bowl is because your defense was able to get to Brady more. The New England's defense was able to.
Didn't I just say the defense helped too?
Yeah, but
I'm saying his lines weren't impeccable. His lines weren't the greatest. His lines were passable against teams that weren't great rushing. The Packers weren't a great rushing.
Now, if you give Daniel Jones that line, the passable line, offensive line, Daniel Jones will have a better career right now than what he's doing right now. He has an atrocious line.
You keep putting it at Daniel's feet. You give Daniel Jones one of the greatest sackers of all time, and then you come to me and tell me what Daniel Jones is able to do.
Yeah, and Mike even said you can't judge Daniel Jones for this. He doesn't even have a top 30 wide receiver and no offensive line. I mean, well,
you could even make an argument he doesn't have a top 10 running back right now.
Well, definitely not.
So all I'm saying is, again, the Giants had a two-headed monster in Jacobs and Bradshaw. They had a defensive line that was just at. You look at Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and I can't remember the other guy on the Rams right now. They wish they could duplicate what that NASCAR defense did with the Giants.
You talking about Ramsey?
Yeah, no, not Ramsey. Because I don't even remember if you guys had a cornerback that great. I'm talking about the other guy on the Rams defensive line. But again, my point is, you had an all-time
Aaron Donald?
No, I said Donald.
You said Donald.
And then there was, I can't remember the name, and I don't even want to try to mess it up. But anyway, my point is, you had a transcendent defense that made a transcendent run. Defense was not that phenomenal all year. It hit its stride and then was just unstoppable. If that defense was what Daniel Jones' defense is right now, you're telling me Eli makes that run all the way through to the Super Bowl?
If Eli had this line right now, if Eli had this line already.
This defense, not offense, this defense.
You're talking about the defensive line.
Could they make a run to the Super Bowl with Eli Manning?
Hell no.
So again, why do you keep putting it at Daniel's feet?
It's not just Daniel.
I don't understand.
But I will say this, because Robert asked, how long did it take for Eli? If you don't count 2004, because that's when he segued. If you go by just full seasons, he went to the Super Bowl in his third year. But at the same time, he also had, and I'm saying this as a Giants fan, as an Eli fan, he had a really good defense, a defense that, again, like you said, they finished 9-7, but they got hot and they also got healthy because all these guys were also injured for most of the season. They started coming back towards that playoff push. They make it in, and then they go on that historic run.
Bro, they were an underdog from the first playoff game all the way through to the Super Bowl.
Which I think was against the Bucs, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was the Bucs.
Again, it's just unheard of the run he went on. I can give Eli more credit for the second run because that defense was still good with JPP, but it was nowhere near as unstoppable as they were the first year they went.
Yeah.
So I give Eli more credit for that one, that Manningham pass.
That was a beautiful pass.
Again, I give Eli all the credit in the world for that second one. I'm not even saying I don't give him credit for the first one, but I will not sit here and act as if that defense was, let's just say, down just in time. Just down just in time. Could they have still been as destructive as they were in that entire playoff run? I don't know. But you still have Strahan. You're talking about the first run, right? Right. You have
Strahan.
You have
Pierce.
Was OC on
JPP? I think OC was, but not Strahan.
No, Strahan definitely wasn't. No, I don't. I think OC might have been, but remember, it wasn't a collective of guys. JPP was just unstoppable that year. There was just like no one could stop that man. He was a one-man wrecking machine.
Right.
But no, again, I'm just saying we see this all the time. We see Russell Wilson, right? The run that they made, the year that they beat the Broncos. Is that Russell Wilson, or is that the fact that the Legion of Boom was probably on track for one of the greatest defenses of all time? Look at Russell Wilson without a top 5 defense. Where have they been? So again, every football team needs A and B. And you're saying A's not good enough. Forget B. A's just not good enough. And A's trying to tell you, well, what the hell do you want me to do with literally nothing to work with?
And that's why I think Robert has a point. And this is what we've been saying. This is what I've been saying for the last couple of years now. When he has a season with a full season with a competent line, then we can talk. And that's what I told you going into this season, Mike. I said, look, yes, this is his third year, and I know all quarterbacks they're evaluated how they do in their third year. This is the year they have to progress or whatever, right? But I also said, look, if he does well right? And it's not his fault. And the line gives him protection. I mean, sorry, if he doesn't do well and the line doesn't give him protection, how can we fault him? I blame Gettleman, and we've been saying that. I don't mind blaming Gettleman
since last year, but this guy also is fragile. Every year there's a fucking you want that, Joey? You want that next year? Go ahead.
Well, you know what though?
You want Daniel Jones year 4, and then wait, an ankle, a fucking hamstring,
you put
his pinky finger, whatever the injury is. How much more can you say this guy is?
They just replaced him. Look, this is how bad the line is.
Fucking season.
But this is how bad the line is. You listening? Do you not realize what we're saying? No, this is how bad the line is. They literally just started another quarterback, his backup, to replace him, and the guy went down with a concussion. They're not getting protection. I don't think it matters who you have.
Wait. The line caused a neck injury? No, he ran the ball and he got hit. The line wasn't protected. The line has nothing to do with him with that run he did.
I'm not saying that. But if they had a competent running game, maybe he wouldn't have to run the ball.
Nah, I don't succumb to any of that. Andrew Luck had a bunch of injury problems.
Yeah, Robert's right. He's not the only quarterback with injuries. No, look at Burrow. Burrow played with dislocated pinky. He couldn't even grip the ball.
Not at all. And you can make an argument his injuries are because he's putting his life on the line every damn snap.
Yep.
Let's not act as if this guy is RG3ing his way through the NFL. He's doing it because what else do you want to? Because then if he just sits in a pocket and gets sacked, well, what are you just standing there for, idiot? Run the football. Get out of the pocket. He gets out of the pocket, gets hit, gets injured. Then it's like, well, you're injury prone.
Yeah.
Well,
he has the balls to run.
He is injury prone. Every single year there was an injury.
He's not injury prone.
So the first leg injury was an injury. So his first leg injury the first year. Last year he missed 2 or 3 weeks because of another leg injury, and now it's his neck. This guy is an injury prone.
Mike, do me a favor.
The neck is from the concussion where he was trying to score the football the first year, and then you're talking about last year he only missed 2 or 3 weeks. What?
But that also stymied the run that.
I don't think you know what injury prone is. RG3 was injury prone. That's 100% injury prone. He could never stay healthy.
Let's see. If a guy gets injured every single season he's playing, yeah, he's injury prone.
No, you're talking about 2 or 3 weeks as opposed to RG3 couldn't play full seasons ever and then went right out of the league.
Yeah, you want to talk about injury prone? What about Christian McCaffrey? You're going to say you wouldn't want him on your team? Christian McCaffrey's injury prone. Watt's injury prone. I'm not gonna. You're gonna say I don't want JJ Watt on my team.
Again, those guys are high usage guys. Christian McCaffrey, the year they got rid of Cam Newton, which was last year. Yeah, last year. You're asking the guy to run it almost every fucking down, and then when he's not running it, you're asking him to do an option where he goes out and catches it and runs. His usage rate is too high. You just said it. You don't have a running game, so you know what that means. Daniel Jones's usage rate. It's too goddamn high. What? Again, this is not a perfect
scenario. And that's another thing. And there, you just bring up my second point. Now you're running back too. Now Saquon's on injury prone. Saquon missed.
That's injury prone. That's 100% injury prone.
So how is Saquon injury prone and Daniel Jones isn't?
Because Saquon has been missing like whole seasons.
But again, what's Daniel Jones being out for? Neck injury, right? You could make a case that neck injury happened that game where he got hit in his head. That isn't a link.
But what I'm saying is a neck injury could be even season ending. This neck injury could be career ending. Nobody's saying how bad this neck is. According to Daniel Jones on Wednesday, he said, "I'm fine. I'm good to go." The next thing Joe Judge is saying is that fucking Glennon is starting because the doctors are telling him, "No, your neck isn't good to go."
Which, if you want to talk about necks, all right, Glennon has got a big one. I mean, let's be honest. The guy looks like a turkey. But really quick though, Mike, if you go and you look at the either the list of injuries or you go by team injuries or whatever, every NFL season, every team, almost every player is hurt. it's just the NFL. It's just football.
I mean, also, and I'm gonna use the best comparison I can make. I told you before, Josh Allen came into the league and was not the Josh Allen you see today. What did the Bills do? They went, built him a top 10 defense, and then got him Stephon Diggs, right? Daniel Jones came into the league, struggled his first 2 seasons. What have you done even remotely close?
They did nothing.
Murray got
Absolutely nothing.
DeAndre Hopkins.
And we've been saying that, Juwaan.
You have to stop putting it on Daniel Jones. Think of every big name quarterback, young quarterback right now, and tell me which one does not have a star receiver. All right, then. My point exactly. So stop putting it at the feet of Daniel Jones till you give him something. And then if he fails with that, it was Daniel.
But he did, though. He had OBJ. OBJ he had. It said,
yeah, but
he's going to make a fucking face again.
OBJ?
I was like a screenshot every time.
That's who I was thinking of. That's who I was thinking of. What star does Mac Jones have?
You can make a case Mac Jones has a star tight end.
No. You said star wide receiver. So now who's the star wide receiver?
It's also Mac Jones' first season. I said, what guy in the league?
And look what he's doing his first season.
That's one of the greatest coaches to ever blow a whistle. That's not the same thing. Who do you have in your organization anywhere near Bill?
Yeah, we don't. We
could have put Mac Jones before Belichick.
You put Mac Jones on this team, he's not going to be the same Mac Jones that he's on the Patriots.
Not. Of course, you put Russell Wilson on this damn team. They're not the same team.
That's why it's not Daniel Jones' fault.
I want to say right now, everybody keeps talking about Russell Wilson. We keep talking about Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson wants to leave a team that's doing the same exact thing that his team is doing.
Yeah.
So what makes everybody fucking take Russell Wilson?
Except he's got DK Metcalf and Lockett.
Because his wife can live in fucking Times Square. His wife can live in Midtown Manhattan.
What makes people think Russell can come here is once you get a new GM, it's very easy to turn the whole ship around.
And that's
it's not like you guys are
and that's another thing. It goes by the GM. Is Mara going to look outside? Is he going to take some guy that fucking sweeps up the fucking bathrooms and says, he's been a long time worker for this team. I'm going to use him as my GM. That's what Joe Barrett does, is hire within. Look outward and see what's out there.
Daniel Jones don't have any weapons. And when he does get weapons, you get guys like Galladay, which we thought was going to be a big weapon. You got this kid, Kadarius Toney. And they get hurt. They get hurt. So it's not even the Jones that's injury prone, Mike. It's also his weapons. Almost the whole his wide receiver core was out yesterday. They had Galladay, they had Slayton. Now, Galladay went out, I think, briefly. I don't know if he ever came back in. I know he sustained like some type of rib injury. So I don't know if Galladay ever came back in, dude. Because I'm not going to lie, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I turned the game off at one point.
I turned the game off after they scored. They scored that touchdown in the third quarter.
But I really do want to see, and I was saying this last year, and I've been saying this for the last two seasons now, because we've been doing this the second time. This is the second year that we've been doing this show, Mike. I want Daniel Jones to have a good line. It's hard to evaluate him. It's impossible to evaluate him.
You just got to do one or two things with a young quarterback like Daniel Jones. And it's either get him a top 10 defense that can make life easier for him, make games more manageable, or you just get him a star standout receiver, a guy that he can just say, fuck it, I'm going to throw it up to him, and he's going to go get it. And then see what you do. Like, I know Galladay is a good receiver, but Galladay is not Jamar Chase. Galladay is not DeAndre Hopkins. Galladay is not, you know what I'm saying? He's not he's not Metcalf. He's not any of those guys. He's just a really, really, really good receiver. That's it. He's not a transcendent receiver that can take a franchise where it needs to go. He's not.
He had a chance to get a top receiver out of the draft this year, and the fucking Cowboys and the Eagles fucked us over because Devontae Smith was right there for our take.
They didn't fuck us over. They strategically did what they needed to do to block the Giants from getting whatever, and they also look. That's what a GM. That's what teams do.
And then draft. Oh! This is the steal of the draft over here, and the fucking guy gets hurt too, twice already.
Hey, let me tell you something. Tony on the field, healthy, that actually is a steal in the draft.
Good when he's healthy, but being injured twice and missing 4 or 5 games doesn't help fucking matters either.
No, it doesn't. It does not. But I'm just gonna end this with saying I first of all, I hope Jones comes back. But at this point, I don't know. Look, I know they're not out of playoff contention, but what are they really playing for? Because they have, like you said, and also too, the other thing is they did revamp. It wasn't just their the weapons they gave Jones on the offensive side of the ball. They did go out and also sign some secondary players, some guys that can play the corners to help out with the defense that actually started playing really well last season towards the end of the season. So I just don't understand why they don't have, like Juwaan said, we have no pass rush. It's literally non-existent. We have no pass rush. We only had shades in pass rush. What is it? Who we got? Leonard Williams, right? I believe we had Leonard Williams and the kid that they drafted, Ojolari, who's gotten at the quarterback a couple of times. That's it. Really quick before we head into our games of the week, the Raiders, the Cowboys get players needed to win instead of Maratish, and the plays they want for their culture instead of what they need to win. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Guys, give it to me. Juwaan, I'll start with you. What do you have for game of the week?
Detroit Lions.
First win, baby.
Vikings completely forgot how to play football. But again, no shocker. I already told you how I feel about that team. Thielen going down obviously wasn't
that hurt. Yeah,
good.
That definitely hurt.
That
but Justin Jefferson stepped up. He did.
Sure did.
Almost
how
200
they
yards.
lost the game, I'll never understand. But again, talking about putting it at the feet of a quarterback, those are two standout receivers. That defense is pretty solid. You got Dalvin Cook back there. Why the Vikings aren't in the Super Bowl hunt, you can only point to.
Cook was out. Cook was out.
No. I'm just saying you have Cook, you have those two standout receivers.
Yeah, I agree.
It's nothing to sneeze at.
And look what Cousins did.
Always has a fall.
Cousins went 30 for 40, no picks, right? He got sacked 3 times, but he nearly threw for 350 yards with 2 touchdowns. So Cousins did what he needed to do.
He's too inconsistent, man. Because you'll give me a game like that, and then I'll give you a game where he just completely forgets.
No, I agree. Well, we said this, but he did have a fumble loss, so I take that back. I'm sorry. Kirk Cousins did lose a fumble.
To me, I look at this team and I go, the defense sometimes plays inconsistent. I won't argue that. I will not argue that. This isn't fully on Kirk Cousins, but I would tell you right now, if Russell Wilson was a Viking, you'd have to imagine this team would just be better. Just with a quarterback change, it would just be better. So, but yeah, losing to the Lions, that's history. That's history. That's something I don't think anyone will forget. Is the fact that the Lions would have had another possible 0-something season, and Minnesota said, "Nope, I got your back."
And they kept their playoff hopes alive, according to Joe.
They did.
Yeah, they all did. I mean, yeah,
we'll never reach it, but they did. They for sure did. God bless them. They did say they wanted to wreck some people's seasons, and you surely fucked up the Vikings with that.
See, here's the thing, though, and I had a feeling I can't see all the games, but it only you know what it says, see all. Even in the losses, I'm looking at Cousins, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go by the rating, he had the one bad game where he lost 14-7. His rating was a 66.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else was north of 88. Almost all of them were over 100. So even in the losses, Kirk Cousins, he's got 3 picks.
All season?
All seasons. Kirk Cousins got 3 picks. And almost 4,000 yards passing. So I honestly, I don't think it is Kirk Cousins' fault. I think even if you put Russell Wilson in there.
I got to see how many points they're losing these games by then.
Yeah, we went over that too. We said Minnesota could easily be a better team. They lost the first game by 3 in overtime, right? They lost the second game to the Cardinals by 1.
1 point.
They lost the second game to they beat Seattle by 13. They lost by 7, I said, to the Browns. They lost by 4 to the Cowboys. They lost by 3 to Baltimore. They lost by 8 to San Fran last week, and then they lost by 2. So their losses.
Okay. Well, here's why I don't give them. The Lions scored 20 unanswered points in the second quarter.
That's not Cousins though. That's the Vikings defense.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't make my point clear there. The Vikings in the second quarter scored 0.
Yeah. Yeah.
0 goose eggs.
Right, but your defense didn't do nothing to stop the other 20. So
well, you could make a case. That means if your defense gave up 20 unanswered, that means you were getting off the field relatively quickly.
Yeah, I agree with Mike. Hold on,
it's
really
like 1,
quick.
2, 3 kick. Yeah.
Hold on, I agree with what that's what I'm saying. You can't. This is a Kirk Cousins hate. He's got 25 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Show me any quarterback that has that line. None.
Well,
Lamar Jackson alone had eight interceptions in the last 9 games.
It'd be very difficult to have that and be 5-5. I think if you do see anything even remotely close, it'd be for a team that's probably north of 8 wins.
If you have a quarterback that's thrown 25 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, you're expecting them to be on a team that's like 11-2 right now, or at least 8-4. Not this is and then we even said this too. Like the Vikings are a head scratcher. They lose these heartbreaking games, and I know we said, and I know I'll agree to a certain extent. I know he's getting paid a lot of money, so Kirk Cousins might be overpaid. But I don't know if he's overrated because he really does give the Vikings the chance to win. Maybe Dalvin Cook not being on I don't know, because Madison had a decent game too.
I don't know. Losing to Cooper Rush, that's not a good thing for your resume.
No, and losing to the Lions itself is not good on your resume. Second quarter, Vikings had the ball 3 times. One time Cousins fumbled. That was the one he lost. And 2 other drives he was sacked. So. But even still, that was a great look. It was definitely a game of the week. The Lions, we figured they would have to win at least one, right? Wolverines, oops, sorry. I'm just trying to catch up to the whatever. Mike, what do you got as your game of the week?
Am I allowed to give one? Am I allowed to predict game of the week?
I don't know. Oh, you're talking about tonight's game?
Because tonight's game is going to be the game of the week.
All right, go ahead. Yeah, please predict tonight's game. But hold on really quick. My brother says Steelers and Ravens game of the week, and that was probably going to be my pick as well.
But that was going to be my pick because
only because of
he never lets me down. My boy behind under center over there, number 8 does it again. It proves me right.
But as I said to you, Mike, before we went on live, that game not only was good, but at the same time, I don't really fault. He had 7 sacks, so the defense got to him 7 times in the Steelers and Lamar Jackson. He had that one interception
he can run away from all that.
He just threw on his bat. I don't know why he threw that ball to begin with, and it was an interception in the end zone. But at the same time, they went for 2. and the reason being is that they had no corners. What do you call it? Harbaugh said, look, our corners were depleted. We had no corners. So we were either going to win this game or we were going to lose it in overtime or something like that. So they just went for 2. And TJ Watt did what he needed to do. He got in Lamar's face. Wide open Mark Andrews would have had, it was by inches, would have had the 2-point conversion had they converted. And I do like the call too. At that point, they made the gutsy move. They would have gotten it had it not been for TJ Watt. And what are you going to do? You're going to go on the field with your defense that won't be able to stop Roethlisberger and the Steelers. So, and Roethlisberger, look, we say, when is he going to hang it up? When's he going to hang it up? He's hanging around just enough. 2 touchdowns, no picks. He only was sacked once. So it was a back and forth game. The other thing is too, the Steelers were down, I think, by 10 in the fourth quarter. They were down like 10-3 or something like that. And they ended up winning.
I like the way, though. I mean, there's this meme going around yesterday after the game, and it said, Lamar Jackson lost to an old 300-pound man with a mobility of a tree.
See,
but that old fat man beat the shit out of you.
The Steelers defense, and that's why I even said, I said last week, I said, look, I know that Steelers defense is when we were doing our picks. I picked the Ravens to win. because I don't know what Steelers team we're going to be playing each week. I don't know. I don't know what the offense is going to look each week or if the defense is going to show up. And they did. They did.
And Jackson should have ran that ball because,
Yeah, I think they expected the run is right.
That's crazy legs Jackson over there. He should run everything.
And Mike said, hindsight, not great, but I want my best player with the ball. And it's true. It is true. All right, Juwaan, what do you got game of the week?
Definitely going to have to go, my boy.
Wait, you did win game of the week.
I thought Juwaan went with Detroit.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry.
I think it's your go, and then I think it's
all right. Well, since Mike took,
I'm taking New England and Buffalo tonight. I think that's gonna be a really good fucking game.
All right. So game of the week, I'm gonna have to go.
You said it. You said Steelers and the Ravens.
Well, we took. All right. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna stick with my pick because that was the game of the week. I was gonna go Chargers and Bengals just because of how it was close at one point, and then the Chargers defense just started to run away with the ball. And we pretty much, I think we all did, right? No, Juwaan picked the Chargers. Me and Mike picked the Bengals because we thought coming off a big win and, Joe Burrow and Mixon and the way the Chargers have been trending, they've been going opposite direction from when we thought they were going to be. But at the same time.
Really quickly, Joe, who had 2 touchdowns on the day for the Chargers?
Was it Herbert?
I believe that was
Keenan.
Oh, Keenan Allen. Yeah. No, I know.
The guy I told you I will fight to the end of the earth. That is the best.
Keenan Allen,
Keenan Allen. I mean,
he scored the first 2 touchdowns in the game for them.
Yeah. Williams had the better game, but without the touchdowns.
Because Keenan Allen is your dirty guy. He's your dirty guy. That's
he's
why
your guy. Yeah, he's your go-to guy. And then we said this. He's his top.
Hey, Robert agreed with me for game of the week.
Yeah, Allen and Mike Williams very much have a altered version of Welker and Moss. Like Welker was doing all the dirty work, so you can just go over the top to Moss every time because you had to double Welker.
I gotta say this. I don't give Juwaan a lot of credit, but sir, you are getting the tip of the cap this week.
I was looking at your picks, dude.
You said it, and he said it on the show last week live. Cincinnati cannot beat anybody out of their division.
Yeah, that's why you went with that's why you went with the Chargers. That was exactly what you said. I was looking at Juwaan's picks. Juwaan's picks
that the Chargers were going to win by 2 touchdowns.
Juwaan's picks were pretty much spot on. The only thing that he didn't get right was he went Jets, which you picked the Texans, and you picked the Falcons by 2 touchdowns over the Bucs.
I did, and again, I always pick against Matt Ryan, and in the 1 week, I'm like, you know what? At some point, he has to just let his balls drop, and of course, he lets them shrivel up. I didn't see Gardner Minshew coming. I don't think anyone did. And the Texans, I mean, they've played more inspired football.
No, you're right.
Game this year outside of this one, so
you're right. No, you're right.
100%. Didn't see those coming.
Well, I guess that's a good segue into a surprise of the week. So, Juwaan, let's start us off. What's the surprise of the week?
Oh, goodness gracious, you can go so many places.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs over the Broncos.
Okay. Yeah.
That is my surprise because
you and I both picked the Broncos. Mike was the only one that picked the Chiefs.
Right. Because to me, the Broncos. Again, I've been saying this for a while. The Broncos, I felt, were just a quarterback away from being right where the Broncos needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And in this game, they look like they're an entire generation of draft picks away from being where they need to be. They just looked fucking horrible.
I don't know. That running back, that kid Williams looked really good. He got 200 yards from scrimmage yesterday between rushing and passing.
Which is crazy because it really amounted to really not much. And here's the crazy thing. Mahomes didn't have the greatest of games.
No,
back-to-back weeks.
You keep throwing pick sixes and shit.
For the first time in Mahomes' career, back-to-back weeks without a throwing touchdown.
But here's the thing. We all said if this team was going to win, it would be Patrick. And it looks like if this team's going to win, it'll purely be off of their defense being to keep them in escapable games.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
In games where Patrick just has to get them within field goal range, or Patrick just has to get a first down to secure the lead. Like it's looking like that because, again, can Patrick hang 30 on the team? For sure. But a lot of these teams he's going to be facing heading into the playoffs have really good defenses.
Casey's defense has been stepping up now.
They have been stepping up, and that's the problem, though, Juwaan, is that that's what we've been saying since week one, or maybe not week one, but okay, the Chiefs are losing, but they'll step it up. They'll come back. But even Patrick's been saying, like, they've been winning these games, right? And they're 8-4, but they're not the same. They're very beatable. That's number one. And number two, their offense isn't putting the 30 spot on the board anymore.
Right.
So now they have to adapt. And like you said, the defense has to step up, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, but again, what makes this team so dangerous is that you have a guy that can still put 30 on you.
And you have Kelsey, and you have Hill, and these guys haven't been involved at whatsoever. Hill hasn't scored in the last 9 weeks.
I'm going to tell you something that someone was saying 2 years ago about Kansas City's 2-star receivers, is that they're not physical. Travis isn't physical. Hill isn't physical. And they said the game where New England beat them in the AFC Championship game, that's what New England wanted to do by putting a linebacker on Travis Kelsey. Get physical with him off the line of scrimmage, and he's not the same. You do the same with Hill. That's why they used to put Gilmore on Hill. You put Gilmore on Hill, you get physical at the line of scrimmage. They're not the same. That one interception that Patrick had where it just went right out of the hands of Hill, he looked as though he was bracing for a hit that wasn't even there yet. You know what I'm saying? So I think there is something shaken about those two that if you can execute it right, this Kansas City team is extremely beatable. But again, there's still a team that can just like that drop 40 on you. So it'll still be dangerous, especially if this defense can keep it up.
Well, I'm going to go this time, just in case no one steals my pick, Mike. I'm going to go, and I agree with my brother. My brother actually said it in the comments. I'm going to go 49ers and Seahawks. I'm going to go with that surprise of the week. Seahawks, and the only reason being, look, and we know this is not a knock to Russell Wilson, and he's been hurt. It hasn't even been him. He finally came back. Look, 4 sacks. He did good. He led his team to a victory, but we thought the 49ers were going in the opposite direction. We thought the 49ers are getting healthy. Here's their defense. And Garoppolo, he's finally shown what he can do, and obviously also showcasing what he can do for teams next year. And Seahawks came back, and they won that game. You know, they completely shut out the 49ers. The 49ers didn't score a single point in the second half, and they came back. And again, this was never a testament to Russell Wilson's character or his ability. When I counted the Seahawks out, it wasn't because of Russell Wilson. It was just because they aren't protecting him when he was healthy, when he was on the field, even though I think he gives them the best chance to win. And they came off with a huge win and keep themselves in a playoff hunt, because I know the 49ers are 6-6. They're 4-8. And because of how the NFC is right now and how the playoff races are in both conferences, they're still in it at 4-8. So
yeah, that's probably the biggest franchise outside of the Giants that has a question mark, because this whole team could blow up next season. You could have Pete Carroll gone, you could have Russell gone, you could see them trading Jamal Adams to get out of that contract. I don't know what the Seattle team is going to do, but you can't run it back. This roster can't sustain that. You can't run it back. So
I actually put Seattle. I actually took Seattle with the money line on my parlay yesterday. I had a feeling that they were going to do something.
I thought Homer had a touchdown return. Didn't they see he had a touchdown return? Homer. They were talking about how Homer was doing it all yesterday. I know he had a run. I know he had a touchdown run. He's the Seattle running back. He had a touchdown run. What did he do receiving? No, he didn't do anything else on the. I don't know what they were talking about on Monday Morning Quarterback. Anyway, yeah. So that was my pick for surprise of the week. Mike, what do you got surprise of the week?
Cincinnati losing the way they did to the Chargers. Like I said, I give Juwaan credit. picking that because they looked horrible.
They did. No, you're right. Why? Really quick, because I honestly didn't know. I don't know if it was a game time decision or whatever. Because I was just, is Jalen hurt? Why did Minshew start?
Yeah, he is hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Did he get hurt in last week's game?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't even know that.
No,
I knew Minshew was getting.
No. I told Mike that yesterday because I was going to take. I took the Jets with the money line in that game.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Really?" I go, "Yeah," because I said Minshew might be starting.
Well, Minshew, when he was on the Jaguars, if you remember, he had that brief spurt where he was actually doing pretty well, and they had this huge quarterback controversy because they had Gardner Minshew. They also had, I can't remember, there was like two other guys that they kept platooning that one year when Minshew was on the Jaguars. I can't remember who they were, but
yeah,
Minshew's not like a bad quarterback, but I wouldn't have expected this, you know?
Minshew is weird because he's not who I would ever want starting for my team. But he's 100% the guy that if like my starting quarterback was down for like 4 weeks, I 100% would go, oh, I think we could easily probably win at least 3 out of these 4 games. I'd have confidence in him for that. He's like Nick Foles. I think he could potentially be like Nick Foles.
He's a good utility guy to have when you need a backup.
Perfect example, though. Perfect analogy with Nick Foles.
Instead of having Mike Glennon under center yesterday.
I would have rather Colt McCoy. I really would have. My runner-up. Wait, did we all go for surprise of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game I would have picked as a backup had I went last, and Mike, if you would have picked whatever, I was going to go Washington Raiders. I really thought the Raiders were going to win, but Washington, they are creeping up. They're 6-6 now. They're I don't think they're
coming into the playoff picture. They're like tiptoeing.
They are. I mean, they were last year. They made the wild card game last year. So, you know, and they're doing it without Chase Young.
And they were a confidence away from beating the Bucs.
Yeah.
He had a quarterback that he was brought into the bright lights for the first time ever. And it was a lot.
No, Joe, Washington wasn't a wild card last year. They were the East Division winners last year.
Oh, they won the division. You're right. Mike, I take that back. You're right. I forgot. They won. That's how bad our division was.
What was it, 6-10?
6-10. You're right. They won the division.
Oh, yes. They won the division because the Eagles.
Because the Eagles fucked us over once again.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember looking at that and going, that's so crazy. That's not against the rules at all.
Yeah, they do it. No, the Washington does have a really good defense. I mean, look what they did. They held.
You're absolutely right. But there is one man that is the face of this Washington success, and that is Scary Terry himself. That man is a monster, a straight up monster.
And you called it. So you called Washington to win, right? But you also said that Scary Terry was going to have, like, I think 3 touchdowns.
How many did he have?
He had 0. He wasn't really a factor in the game. He only had 22 yards receiving, but it was because you know why? Because it was spread out. Logan Thomas had 48 yards. He had the touchdown. Bates had 42 yards. Humphreys had 38 yards. Gibson had 23. It was spread out. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys that he threw to with at least 2 targets and over 10 yards. All of them had over 10 yards. Only Gibson and Logan had the touchdown.
Did I take the Redskins or did I take the Raiders, Joe?
You took the Raiders. You and I both picked the Raiders. Juwaan is the only one that went Washington.
Why would I take fucking
because
number 2 overrated? No, why would I do that? See,
okay, he has 800.
I gotta have my fucking head examined.
But Juwaan, and I'm sure my brother will agree. Terry's been having a year, and Terry is a main factor why they are winning. But
and they're winning without Chase because he's out now for the season, right, Juwaan?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, my brother picked Terry in one of his parlays.
Yeah,
that's how I know.
Look, I'm sorry. I had Washington, and I thought Terry would go off. But as Joe's saying, if the ball was being spread around, then
they spread it out. Yeah, no, Heineke spread it out. I think that was their game plan.
Because I'm gonna tell you, he's a matchup nightmare. So maybe they were doubling him in the box.
Yeah, 5 targets, 3 receptions. So he probably was getting doubled.
Yeah, it's probably getting doubled in a box, bringing the high safety in. Yeah, that's probably what it was.
All right. Well, let's go over our picks. We got our picks coming up for next week.
Now, I'm confused because I couldn't figure this out. Siri was really fucking with me yesterday. Is New England's bye week this week?
No, New England's. Wait, I believe you're right, Juwaan.
Because I think it's this week, and then they come back to
the bye
Colts,
week. The bye week this week are the Colts, Dolphins, Patriots, and Eagles.
I thought so. Okay, thank you. Because then they come back, and then they make the gauntlet run of Colts, Bills, Jags, Miami, and then regular season's over. Okay. All right.
Well, I want to see something really quick. Let me see their matchup
They
next.
got played in the division 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't played most of their division yet.
And Miami's playing tough too. So
Which, by the way, can I bring this up really quick, Joe?
Yes, you can. Of course you can. I'm setting it up anyway. Go.
I know you said your brother is a Bills fan, and I looked this up yesterday because I was watching one of my I was reading one of my Patriot beat writers articles, and he was saying everyone keeps saying like, oh, who has New England beat really this year outside of like a few teams recently, right?
Yeah.
Like, most of the teams were like really bad that they won against or whatever. Here's the thing no one's bringing up.
Big game.
The Bills have only played one top team in their entire run so far. Think about that. One top team.
Me and my brother were talking about this the other day because we were talking about Patriots and who they've beaten. And as far as let's see, well, I'll tell you right now. So they obviously lost their opener to the Steelers. They crushed the Dolphins in week 2. They beat Washington, which is iffy. They crushed Texans 40-0. They beat the Chiefs, which was at that point, because it was only week 4. They were like, oh, well, this Chiefs or whatever. They lost to the Titans. I think that was the game they didn't go for. Was that the game they didn't go for a field goal to tie the game and they went for the win? I'm pretty sure that was the game that they should have just went to tie it, but they went for the win instead. They beat the Dolphins. They lost to the Jaguars. Nobody wants to talk about that again. They beat the Jets, but who doesn't? They lost big to the Colts. They beat the Saints, which is another Jekyll and Hyde team, and now they got so yeah, you could argue.
Kansas
but the other
City
thing is
the only one that counted.
the Kansas City, yeah,
counts. That counts.
But
that counts.
But when also too, when they win, they were destroying teams.
Right. Those are the teams, as you said, week to week when they were doing it. Those are the teams you're supposed to be doing that to.
You're supposed to be
I can't pat you on your back for doing what you're supposed. You shouldn't be winning close games against some of those bad teams. I mean, hell, New England dropped 40 on the Jets. I wouldn't congratulate them for that. You should do that. They're the Jets.
Yes, and that is true. And that's the thing you got to. That's the other thing too. And the opposite, not just about the scoring. The only game they really lost big to were the Colts, where they were just completely dismantled. And because they can't stop the run. They can't. And even my brother said that's their problem. They can't stop the run. But I mean, who can stop Jonathan Taylor? Nobody can stop Jonathan Taylor.
But you can make a case they only played 3 really good teams in Titans.
You're right. You're right.
Chiefs,
yeah.
And 2 of them were losses. No matter how big or small, they were losses. So you go the 3 games, right, that were meaningful games out of their entire schedule. They only won 1 of them. And at that time, you could say that was probably Kansas City at their most vulnerable. But I don't hold that against the Bills. They went out and they took that game. That wasn't like, oh, they won by a field goal, or they went out and they completely just obliterated Kansas City. So I give them all the respect in the world. Only reason I brought that up is everyone keeps saying like, well, what has New England done? And I'm like, well, they're going head to head against a team that you can make the exact same argument about. And you can make an even tougher argument that most of New England's losses, they were right there. Week 1, the Damian Harris fumble against Dolphins that sealed that loss.
Yeah, they lost by 1.
Right. The Bucks. Nick Folk couldn't make that fucking field goal.
Lost by 2. Yeah.
The Cowboys won. We were within an overtime of possibly winning that game. So I'm saying really good teams that New England has lost to, you could make arguments some of those should have been wins rather than losses. But again, I'm not here to make excuses. I'm just saying no one's talking about the fact that the Bills are identical to New England as far as
they are because if you look through their schedule, same thing. They don't lose by much when they do. They beat the teams they have to, and they've only have really one. They only have a win against one formidable opponent, really.
Exactly.
If you can't, the Chargers, yes. You know what? Maybe two. I'll give you two. The Titans. They beat the Titans. They beat the Titans convincingly, 38-13.
I'm
36 to
not
13.
making a big deal about it, but I'm not taking the Browns off of that. I'm not taking the Browns off of that.
Did Baker even start that game?
Yes, he did. The full game. There was no Nick Chubb, though, but it was Baker Mayfield that whole game. That whole game. And New England just went there and just took his manhood.
No, something happened that game, Juwaan. I don't know if they just took him out because he was hurt. Case Keenum was in.
Yeah, Case Keenum was in like towards the end of the game.
He came in the end. I know. They say Baker went 11 for 21 with 73 yards and a touchdown, and an interception. But yeah, that was just. But look, I can't argue. They're in first place. They have the division right now. So,
which by the way, Mike, I know you want to give Lamar Jackson a lot of shit for that loss, but I made a phone call and he did me a favor. So relax.
I can't admit Bills are overrated. They just looked at so highly because they went to the AFC Championship game last week. It's true. Or last year. It's true. That's exactly what it is.
I'm not saying they're overrated. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the narrative for everyone for New England is, well, look who you've been playing. I'm only saying that for the same people who are saying that the Bills are one of the top teams because of their record. And I'm saying it's you could say the same thing for New England. That's all, but they're not overrated.
Another good point is it's true. It's all of the AFC. The AFC, every team has been doing this. Winning games that they're supposed to, losing close games unless obviously you're the Texans. But they're like I said, it's
what, Mike. Someone is to blame for why the AFC has been like this the last 2 years, and that's Tom Brady. Once he left, the stability of the AFC everyone knew their place. Everyone knew their place. They knew we're all underneath. We're all underneath New England. We'll stay here. And then he left, and everyone was just like, "Well, I want to be at the top. And it just went into a flux. So we have to blame Brady for that. There'd be more stability if he was there.
Robert, right now, I think this goes for both teams. I think the season starts right now because right now you just put whatever you did in the weeks behind you. I believe the Patriots actually have an easier schedule from here on out because, like Mike said, the next week it doesn't get any easier because now you got to play the Patriots tonight and you go on to the Bucs next week. So it's going to be a tough, and it's going to be a testament to what the Bills are. We're going to see, and also with the Patriots, we're going to see tonight because they go head to head.
Because if New England loses, we go from first place down to fifth, heading into a bye week.
Yeah,
we have to come out of it against Colts and then Bills again, and then Jaguars and Dolphins.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start with Thursday night's game. If you want, we did our picks for Monday. Let's see. Who do we get? I'm the only one that went with the Bills. Mike and Juwaan both picked the Patriots. Juwaan, you went Mac Jones, 400 yards, 34-17. That was your that was your yes. I believe last week you were drunk.
No, I'm only laughing because I didn't remember I said that. So I was gonna say that now.
Yeah.
If I already said that.
You said it. Everybody heard it.
Hold me to it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So Thursday's game, you got the Steelers at Vikings. Minnesota's home. Steelers coming off a big win yesterday. And Vikings coming out with a bad loss. And again, no fault to Kirk Cousins, but I don't know. You just can't figure this Vikings team out. You really can't. So I'm going to go. Shit, man. I'll let you guys go first. Juwaan, you seem to be the guru in these NFL picks for the most part. What do you got?
Stop putting that pressure on me.
What do you got? Robert's going Vikings.
My dad went Vikings.
Yeah.
I'll ride his coattails. No, because Ben's saying this is going to be his last year.
Yeah.
But I'm praying that he doesn't go out. He doesn't go out as horrible as he's been playing this year. I'm gonna. No. Yeah, no, Adam Thielen. Shit. Forget it. I'm going. Steelers 2 touchdowns.
Okay. I am also picking the Steelers after what TJ Watt did and what the defense did to step up. And it's not even, and again, Kirk Cousins could have a career game and it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter. The guy's, like I said, throwing 25 touchdowns, just 3 picks. I don't know. Is Dalvin Cook going to be ready for next week? Like you said, Adam Thielen, I don't know about Adam Thielen. So yeah, the Steelers are shaky. I agree with Robert. But I'm going to go, and my brother says it too, Big Ben in December. So I'm gonna go Steelers. Mike, what do you got?
Give me the Steelers. I'll take the money line with it.
Steelers and the money line. Go. Big division rival game. Cowboys at Washington. Right now, like I said, Washington's on a bit of a streak. I think they've won the last 4 or 5. Cowboys still on top. But know they had the Thanksgiving Day loss, but didn't they beat the Saints last Thursday night?
Yeah, but who isn't beating the Saints right now?
Exactly. I know. I got to go Cowboys. I think just right now. Well, hold on a second, though. Do they have their wide receivers back? Is Lamb and company
they had
back?
Last week. They
did?
Yeah, Lamb and Cooper were back already. I mean, they didn't do much. I mean, they didn't do much on that game, but a lot of it was Tony Pollard and his running.
Okay. I'm still going to go Cowboys. I think the Cowboys can, because look, Washington won and their defense is, as my brother said earlier, really good. And Robert's picking Washington because he will never pick Cowboys. Look, I know Mike can agree with you here. Mike hates Cowboys. I don't hate them. They are a division rival, though. And I think right now it's just like, who isn't? Cowboys at Washington. But I got to go Cowboys because we can't, if the Giants, and I hate thinking this way because the Giants are 4-8. Like, are they really going to make the playoffs?
No.
But they're not going to win the division. And we need these other teams to lose. Washington, we can't have win. So I'm going Cowboys, not only because I think they're going to win, but as a Giants fan, you need them to win. Mike, who you got?
Dallas is 4.5-point favorite.
I don't think I asked that.
No, you know what? I'm going to go. No, you know what? Give me the Redskins. They're hot right now.
All right. No, they are. They are. What do you got?
I'm going Washington only because Cowboys didn't impress me in that game against the Saints. I kind of felt as though that if Jameis Winston had been healthy, that game could have been a lot closer.
And Kamara.
Or Kamara, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Or Kamara. So I'm going to go Washington. I'm going to go Washington big. I'm going to go big for Washington. I'm going to go.
And Payton wouldn't take out what's his name over there? Tyrone.
Taysom?
No.
Who are you talking
Who
about?
the fuck is their quarterback?
Simeon?
No.
The other guy. The guy they paid a lot of money for.
The Swiss Army knife.
Taysom. I said Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
If they would have put Simeon in, they might have had a better chance because Hill was playing with like a spray middle finger or something because he hit one of the defenders' arms while throwing a pass.
Right.
And Peyton would have taken him out of the game last week. They might have had a chance if Simeon might have came in.
No,
Sure.
the only chance the Saints would have had is if Drew Brees came in and laced up and threw the football.
Let's focus on the Washington and Dallas game. What's
Oh, sorry. I was saying Washington big, 34-20.
No, you did. No, I know. I already got you down for that. Yeah, no, 100%. And again, I think the Cowboys are going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Washington wins. So
tell your brother, do not start Terry because they're going to put what's his name on him.
Mike, don't start Terry. They're going to put what's his name on him.
You know who I'm talking about. Diggs. They're going to put Diggs on him. Yeah.
Diggs has been great this year. All right. Jaguars are Titans. I mean, if you're the Titans, you got to beat this. You got to win this game. I got to go Titans.
I don't think so, man. Did the Jaguars play this week?
They did. They got they lost to the Rams.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh shit.
Your pick too. You picked the Jags to beat the Rams.
I did pick the Jags to beat the Rams. I think they heard me and then just openly decided to be horrible.
Now, Joe, are you going to give Juwaan shade for picking the Jags like he did me for 2 weeks in a row?
No, because of how Stafford and the Rams have been playing. What? Like I couldn't figure it out. Like I
can't
you know I
you
love
can't even
Stafford.
shame him on that. You shamed me.
You love you know I love Stafford. And it was it pained me to see how bad these Rams were playing the last few games. And OBJ had a touchdown. Yeah, look, I've seen stranger things happen. Jaguars beat the Bills. Robert's going Titans. So wait, Juwaan, what'd you go?
I didn't pick anything.
Oh.
I was give me Jack. Oh, sorry. I meant to tell you this. I saw it and we got caught up.
Okay.
Tyrod Taylor apparently broke something in his wrist. So he might not be healthy to play. So yeah, I'm going Jaguars.
Wait, Tyrod's on the Texans.
Wait, who's this game? What's this game?
The Titans.
Oh shit!
Shannon Hill is the quarterback for the Titans.
It's all right. He thought I said Texans, Titans, titties. It's all the same.
I'm going titties by 2 touchdowns.
Okay. You going titties? Okay.
I think they come back into form.
I'm gonna leave out the A and N, and I'm gonna just put tits.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with nipples. No.
All right.
I'll go with the Titans too, but I'm not taking 9.5 points though.
All right. Well, thank you for that little tidbit, Juwaan, because the next game is Seahawks and Texans. So I'm going to go Seahawks now, especially coming off a big win against the 49ers. If they're going to go out without a Tyrod Taylor, even though the Texans defense has been showing shades or whatever, but at 2-10, they're not that convincing. So I'm going to go Seahawks.
Yeah, this is a money season for Russell Wilson. A money and a legacy season. So yeah, I'm going Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Okay. Raiders at Chiefs. Again, like I said, the Chiefs 8-4. They're beatable. Hold on. Tell them stop vaping, my kid.
I don't know why, but I swear I heard Texans.
That's all right. And he's going also with Seattle. All right. So Raiders at Chiefs. Right now, the way the Chiefs are playing, they're winning games that even when they're not playing at full capacity. As I said, Mahomes, back-to-back weeks without the throwing touchdown. He did have a rushing touchdown, though. Chiefs defense is stepping up. Carr and the Raiders just look. It's like I said, it's week to week. I never know what they're gonna do.
Jekyll and Hyde.
But here's the thing: they just lost, right? And they lost to the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a game now they win.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually gonna go Raiders again. I picked the Raiders last week yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I was right. I picked them last week because we did the show last week. For yesterday's game against Washington, obviously they lost. I'm going to go Raiders.
I'm going Raiders purely because I need the Chiefs to lose because they're my safety net.
Gotcha. Hold on 1 second. We got a comment. Oh, Robert's going Raiders as well. Mike, you want to go for the clean sweep or you're going to pick Chiefs again because you did last week and you were right?
I'm not giving up right now. I think the defense is waking up. Patrick got to have a big game this week, and I have a good feeling he is.
What if he doesn't, though? Let me ask you this question really quick for the both of you. If Patrick does have another off game, right? And still think he's the best quarterback in the league. So that's without saying. Do you worry about this team at all, even if they win?
Nope. I watched Peyton Manning win a Super Bowl, and it felt like he only threw 34 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, can Chris Jones be what Von Miller was that year?
He's supposed to be. When you think Chris Jones, I mean, he was a big part of that defense last year, and he's stepping up now. So, yeah. All right. And Mike, what about you?
I'm going with the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs.
No. The question. I said if they play the game, let's say they even beat the Raiders still, but Mahomes still has an off game. What do you think the Chiefs going into this playoff push? And because obviously, clearly, if they win, they'll be 9-4, so they'll be making the playoffs. It's a no-brainer unless they have monumental collapse. But what is your confidence going in this game? Going into the playoffs then, if Mahomes and company can't get on board where they were last year, and Robert even agrees Chiefs are shaky. I'm not sure.
They'll be okay.
All right. Quick answer. I love it. Saints at Jets. It's got to be a team that the Saints beat, right?
No.
I mean, they're 5-7. They're still in the thick of the playoffs. I mean, who isn't in the NFC? I'm not confident. Even Zach Wilson had a decent game yesterday, and they lost to Gardner Minshew and an Eagles team that is still playing hot, but it's Gardner Minshew. I'm going to go Saints. I think the Saints are going to beat the Jets away.
I went Jets last week.
Yeah, you did.
And I'm going Jets again this week.
All right. Mike, who you got?
I'm going with Juwaan. Give me Gang Green. Not Gang Green, Gang Space Green.
If you want Gang Green, bro, be careful. You can become an amputee that way. All right. This is game of the week, guys. Falcons at Panthers. Who you got? Robert, I doubt it is. He said, is that even a game? No. It's not a game I'm watching, I'll tell you that.
I'd rather bet on the Georgia Bulldogs taking on Michigan and watch this.
No, he's talking about because it's delayed. He's talking about the Jets at Saints.
I'm gonna go Carolina because apparently Stephon Gilmore said he's finally coming back into old form. Like it took a while. But he's back into form. So I'm assuming he's who you'd put on Kyle Pitts.
Uh-huh.
So then the question then becomes, can Matt Ryan get it to anyone else? I don't know.
Juwaan, is this their second matchup? Because I feel like we talked about this last time with Gilmore and Pitts.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they won, right? Didn't the Panthers won?
Do you remember how that game ended?
Yeah, exactly.
Gilmore picking off while covering Kyle Pitts. I told you that's what was going to happen. He was going to blanket that guy.
Yeah, I'm going to go Panthers for that reason. I'm gonna ride your coattails.
Okay.
Imagine it would have been cut off and all you heard was I'm going to ride you. So I'm going to go Panthers.
I don't even get to say. I'm going to ride you, and that's it.
Whoa.
What movie? Oh, hold on. What movie was that? None of you will get the reference, but there was a movie. I think it was Good Luck Chuck. Yeah, it was Good Luck Chuck with Dane Cook, where the girl at the pool's like, I'm going to ride you till you die.
Yes, it was that movie. Yes.
It was Good Luck Chuck. All right, Mike, who you got?
On what?
Panthers or Falcons?
Oh.
Or Falcons or Panthers, I'm sorry.
Like I said, I'll take Georgia with the points. No.
So you're going Falcons?
Is Cam starting?
I think so.
You know what? Fuck it. Give me the Falcons.
All right, I already put you down for Falcons. And Juwaan, you're going Panthers, obviously.
This game is such an under on it. I would take the under all day on this.
All right, now you got this should be a big game because the Browns have to win. And the Ravens also need to win, especially after yesterday's loss. You got the Ravens at the Browns. So Ravens are going. This is a huge game because this is a division rival. Both franchises hate each other. Both franchises are the same fucking franchise pretty much, but they hate each other. So it should be a tough game. That Ravens defense is really good, and that Browns team 6-6.
Let's see. So Lamar loses to Fat Old Ben yesterday. But
I'm going Ravens.
Can he beat up Baker?
Robert's going dog pound. Oof. I mean, they are at home.
Crazy stat line for you here. You ready for this? This is me predicting a stat line.
Do it.
Lamar throws for 3 touchdowns and rushes for 2.
All right. So I'm going to hold on. Ravens, right?
Yep.
Lamar, 3 TDs, 2 rush TDs. All right. Mike, who you got? You got the dog pound?
I hate this. I hate him. I hate this fucking franchise.
I will say this, though, and it's not just Lamar. I don't like the Ravens either. I never did. But they're good. You can't deny it.
But how do you pick a team when your quarterback is a one-arm man?
No, just a one-arm man. He's got 2 legs as well.
I don't want to hear that crap. Is he playing? If he's playing, none of that matters.
Oh, you're going by. Oh, I understand Baker because he's a dude, but he's still playing. Like Juwaan said, if you're hurt, don't play. So
Simple as
the Bengals are going to have to make a decision with Joe Burrow. It's on. He's got a dislocated pinky. Obviously, he was wincing when he was trying to fucking grip the ball. So you either start or you have a backup play and whatever. Obviously, I think Joe Burrow gives
you that. Yeah, you can't afford to do that.
No.
Yeah, you'll lose too much ground. Yeah, you can't do
Robert's saying Mayfield's going 320 with no interceptions.
that. He could be 100% right. They just lost Humphreys for the season. They have literally no corners. So
that's right.
Possible. But look.
That's right. I forgot. That's why they went for 2. Their corners.
Not good. But again, that game was very low scoring. So Big Ben couldn't put up a whole bunch of points, and he's healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
give me the Browns. Fuck it. Give me the Browns.
All right.
Only because I can't pick this fucking team. I can't.
I'm actually gonna. You know what though? I forgot about the corner situation. I forgot about that secondary situation. I'm going against my pick. I'm going with Browns too now.
What?
Is Nick Chubb healthy? Is he in?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's the Browns are like one of those teams. All right, whatever.
I think Chubb played yesterday.
I know, but I just don't. I didn't even know Jalen Hurt was hurt. I didn't know Hurts was hurt. So whatever. Giants at Chargers. I think this is a very winnable game for the Cowboys, for the Chargers. They're playing in LA. Fuck, man. I don't know if Jones is, if what you said is true with Jones out. I can't. I even with Jones in, I'm going Chargers.
Did Cleveland play yesterday?
Yeah. Didn't they?
Feels like they didn't, right?
Maybe they didn't. They're 6-6.
Yeah, they don't want to buy.
Who you got, Mike? Chargers or Giants?
I can't even pick the Giants the rest of the season. Give me the Chargers.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's going to get 3 touchdowns.
Probably, yeah. This secondary looks like they play too soft sometimes. They really do. Juwaan, who you got?
Daniel Jones is healthy. I'm going Giants.
Wait, Jones is healthy?
No, if Daniel Jones is healthy, I'm going Giants. So
he wants the asterisk caveat that if Jones isn't starting, he wants the Chargers.
Yes.
All right. I'll put that. I still think even with Jones in, I don't think they yeah, Giants no chance either way. I agree.
I mean, the line alone is showing that Jones probably ain't starting.
Yeah.
I mean, already early line, they got the Chargers 10 points favorite.
Right. All right. Next week, do the Lions ride that high, their first win, and defeat the Broncos at home, or are you taking the Broncos over the Lions? I'm going Broncos. They got to beat these toothless Lions. Bridgewater has to have a better game.
You know what? No. Gone Lions. Gone Lions.
You got to bring that roar back to Detroit. Mike, who you got?
Roar, Detroit.
Robert's going Denver.
This is a really shitty game. I don't know how the Broncos are even 8 points favorite. You know what you want? I'm gonna ride your coattails. Let's see if Jared Goff can get 2 in a row. Let's go with the Lions.
All right. We're all riding each other, it seems. All right. Now, this is
not a pretty picture.
You got the 49ers at Bengals. Now, the 49ers, like as I said, they have to keep pace. They have to win. I don't know what Burrow's pinky is going to do for his performance next week. I mean, he seemed to be okay throwing that ball, but given it an extra week, who knows if the swelling gets worse or whatever. And it's only dislocated. I don't think it's broken. So given that Burrow's not 100%, and that 49ers team
shot will be fine.
What?
Give him a cortisone shot, it'll be fine.
Hold on, really quick. Juwaan, Jalen Rose loves you for that.
Loves me for what?
I guess picking the Lions?
Oh. Oh, yeah. He's a Detroit boy.
Yeah, he's going 49ers. I went Bengals last week and I got hurt with the Chargers, and the 49ers have been surprising. They've been winning games that I didn't think they were going to win. So I know they lost to Seattle yesterday, but I'm going to go 49ers again. Kittle had a huge game yesterday. He had almost 200 yards. That defense needs to tighten up. And like I said, I don't know what Burrow's status is going to be next week. So I'm going to go 49ers. What about you guys?
I think even with Burrow in the game, I think San Francisco could beat them.
Okay.
Give me the Niners.
All right. Juwaan, are you going Bengals?
Of course.
Because they're playing. Wait, is this the. Wait, you said that they don't beat opponents outside the division.
I know. Still going Bengals.
Okay. All right. Now, this is a big game. This is a huge game. Well, Monday night, I think, is probably the better game, but this should be a good game as well. Bills at Bucks.
That's Monday?
No, Monday's Rams at Cardinals. We'll get to that in a minute. But
okay.
4:00 game, Bills at Bucks.
I might actually be able to watch this game because Arizona is playing Monday night.
Arizona's got the Monday night game, yes. So Bills at Buccaneers.
I'm going.
It sucks because I hate doing these picks when the team hasn't played because they're playing tonight. So I don't know. If the Bills handle the Patriots, I say they have a better shot at playing the Bucks well as well. But I don't know which Bills team. This is a hard pick, and they're playing in Tampa. So Tom's
did you just say a hard pick or a hard prick?
A hard prick. I'm gonna go Bucks. I'm sorry, Mike. And here, look. I'm wearing a Bills fucking hoodie. And this
he's gonna drive all the way from Middle Village just to choke the living crap out of you tonight if they lose.
This is a tough.
Because he's right. You are a jinx.
I'm going Bucks. I mean, the Bills have more to lose because the Bucks have the South.
I'm thinking Juwaan's logic in this with the whole Bills and only beating one team that's good.
They got to prove themselves, no doubt. Now they have to start winning the games that are going to be tougher, So I'm going to go Bucks. All right, Juwaan, I already know you're going Bucks.
Yeah. You guys didn't hear? Tom Brady has property up in Buffalo because he just owns so much of it. So I think he does us a favor.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah, I was curious to know where you're going with that because they're playing in Tampa, but now I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he still has love for New England, and he understands that once a Patriot, always a Patriot, and being a Patriot means having fun beating up on the Bills. So gotcha. I do believe he will hang his hat very high on this Bills team for us next week.
All right. So we're all going Bucks. All right. Division rival game for Sunday night. Obviously, record-wise, not a good matchup, but still division rival all the same. Bears at Packers. I'm going Packers. I got to go Packers.
11 and a half on the opening line.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wait, Juwaan, are you picking Bears if Dalton starts?
Who are they playing?
Packers.
Green Bay.
you almost got me with that. I almost said, yeah. No. Green Bay.
All right. We're all going Green Bay, right?
Green Bay.
Yeah, of course. It's
okay.
Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. We just live in it.
Yes. And here we go. We got the rematch. I believe these two teams already played. Rams at Cardinals. Am I correct?
Yes.
Rematch. Robert goes Pack. No surprise there. Okay. Rams at Cardinals. Murray is back. Didn't have a big game yesterday, but they still won nonetheless. And that Rams team, I just still can't figure it out. They struggled.
How the hell do you have an over-under, a money line, but no spread?
I don't know.
There is no spread on this game.
You see, but here's the thing. Cardinals 10-2. one of the front runners to be the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Got a guy like Stafford in the Rams. Jekyll, who's going to do what? Who's going to do what? This is the game. This is probably the game that the Rams are actually going to win. I know they're playing in Arizona. I know they lost in LA to this team earlier in the season, but the Rams have a lot to prove right now, and rightfully so. I'm going to go Rams. I'm going to go Stafford and the Rams. Oh, Robert picks the Rams as well. Mike, who you got?
Cardinals.
Spoken like a true Arizona fan.
Shut up.
Juwaan, you got cards?
Hell yeah. You already know. Come on now.
Know.
The bacon.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. I think the Cardinals will win. But like I said, the way these games have been going week to week, every time you feel like there's like a clear-cut favorite, it's always the opposite. So that's why I just went with the Rams and whatever. And Stafford actually looked shaken up in yesterday's game. He took a shot to what it looked like to the chest, but he ended up coming back and he ended up still throwing. I think he threw either 1 or 2 touchdowns after that. So he looks like to be okay, but he did take a shot by one of the Jaguars defensive ends. So we'll see what happens next week. All right, guys, that is it. That is our show. I want to thank Robert, as always, commenting and joining in on the chat. My brother as well. Earlier, my brother Mike. Earlier, hold on, who else came in? Nick came in. So we got some good comments. Nick really just came in to say that the Pack was going to go 14-3 and win the Super Bowl. Could easily go. Yeah, I can't dispute that. Pack are playing really good. So we will see. So obviously stay tuned for next week when we go over our next week's games and of course the following week's picks. I want to thank my co-hosts as always, Mike from Mic'd Up Sports, Juwaan from Geek Vibe Nation. And also, as usual, guys, your links to your respective YouTube channels are in the description as always. So, guys, if you're interested, please just hit show more. Go to the links in the description. Click them. Go to each of these guys' channels and follow them up. Mike, really quick, what do you got coming up on your channel?
Nothing really. I haven't done anything yet. So, and now with the baseball lockout, can't really discuss any baseball stuff. The wrestling.
Thanks, Robert.
I'll think of something. I think wasn't really much news going on, so I didn't really do a show this weekend.
Okay, that's fine.
But we still got the shows, one that we did, and we still got the Marte shows. So
yeah,
we show from last week.
Mets Talk views are really good for that show. The one that we did on the Marte and everything signings. And Robert says WWE, and yeah.
AEW, but I'm a fanboy.
Juwaan, you just did a show last night, an impromptu show. I was sleeping when you went live. Or did you go live? You recorded that?
Nah, I just recorded it.
Okay. So I actually did I caught like a little bit of it earlier, but then obviously I watched some football highlights or whatever to prepare for the show. But you went on and you talked about, Charlie Cox being confirmed to be Daredevil and all that goodness. Of course, we're talking MCU and, geekdom and fandom. But anything else you got coming up that you want to talk about? I know you got some big things cooking up that you don't want to talk about yet.
Yeah.
Which I think is.
Yeah. No, I don't want to put it out there yet.
No, not yet. But stay tuned, guys, because he kind of gave me the, behind the scenes talk, and it's big. So if it does happen, and if it is happening, that's big. So please go to his channel, subscribe, hit the notification bells for both these guys, and you won't be disappointed. Guys, again, thank you, and I will see you guys real soon. I'll see everybody else next week. Enjoy your upcoming week and weekend. Go Giants.